It's hard to believe that it has been an entire year since that fatal carbon monoxide poisoning happened right here at the Niles Quality Inn. Now, back in December, I showed you how this tragedy has affected the mother of 13-year-old Brian Douglas Watts. But tonight, I'm delving into the lawsuit that her attorneys have filed against the hotel owner, the inspector, the seller of the hotel, the franchisor, and the company that originally installed that pool heater. Now, since December, they've actually added some victims to the complaint and taken some depositions, some of which I'm holding here in my hand. I've actually read all 450 plus pages of these depositions from Brian's mother, Paula Watts, from the hotel owner, Jay Patel, and from the inspector he hired, Mark Modlin. So for the first time ever tonight, you're hearing in their words what led up to that fateful day. A faulty vent with a rusty, dislodged pipe. This one piece of equipment left 13-year-old Brian Douglas Watts a memory. The fumes leaking out of the pool heater at the Niles Quality Inn poisoned him, 8 other children, 2 adults, and some first responders on April 1st, 2017. Everyone but Brian survived.
Their lives, every one of them, have been forever changed. We want to hold the people accountable who are all accountable.
Attorney Ven Johnson's team says 2 of the main people at fault are the hotel owner, Jay Patel, and the inspector he hired, Mark Modlin.
First and foremost about Mr. Patel, that he bought the hotel the year before, and that from the date that he bought the hotel, literally had no real game plan in terms of investigating, inspecting, and taking the pool, I'll call it equipment room. Patel admitted he never even looked at the manufacturer's instructions for the pool heater, had them shoved in some drawer in the pool area, didn't even know they were there until after all this happened.
If he had sought out the manual, he would have come across this page that says the following maintenance is recommended every 6 months. Make sure that joints have not slipped partially or completely apart. Check pipes and fittings for cracks or breaks. Johnson believes this vent proves Patel did not do that.
Despicable.
If Mr. Patel had followed the 6-month guideline, he would have checked this venting system at least once since he bought the hotel in June 2016. Patel's deposition also revealed that where there should be an air intake and outtake for the carbon monoxide fumes, kind of like this one, with a pipe leading to the outside through a hole in the wall, it was covered with a trash bag-like material. He first faults the seller, called AJ in his deposition, for not telling him he was leaving a manual in the equipment room. But mainly, Patel blames the inspector he hired for $1,400, Mark Modlin with Amerispec, for not alerting him to safety concerns. Johnson followed up by asking, "You believe his failure to do his job, meaning Modlin, is part of the explanation of what happened to these poor kids that day, agreed?" To which Patel responds, "Yes." What is Mr. Modlin saying to that?
No, Mr. Modlin said I did nothing wrong. I'm not supposed to investigate. That's the owner's responsibility to do this, not mine.
Saying his inspections are not safety inspections. Johnson asks, "So what you recall doing as part of your inspection is you looked at what I'm going to call the front of the unit, correct?" Modlin responds, "The portion of the unit that was visible from the doorway." So in taking the picture, he thinks that that sufficed in terms of just exhibiting the surface qualities.
Yeah, taking a picture from across the room. Yep. It's really no different than a home furnace or a furnace for a business.
Modlin says he's inspected 2,000 furnaces, but never a pool heater. It's unclear exactly how similar they are in mechanics.
You gotta not just take a picture from over here and say, yep, there's a furnace. I can feel the heat, it's fine. You gotta go around it, you gotta look, you take pictures. And if you see rust and wear and tear, you write that on your report.
But Modlin says going behind the unit is not part of doing his good, safe, reasonable job, and that any reasonable building inspector would agree with him. Even with a defective pool heater, a carbon monoxide detector could have warned the poolgoers about the leak. Mr. Modlin says he was not asked to do any carbon monoxide testing, although Mr. Modlin did say, too, that he has a carbon monoxide detector in his own home, correct?
He did, and he never told Mr. Patel about that, correct. Mr. Modlin admitted that he used one in his home and had been using it for years because of the safety related issues, and he uses it in an area somewhere at or around the area of, guess what, a heater.
Working through who should have said or done what when will come with a jury trial.
We have to prove under Michigan law that it's more likely than not, so 51% or more, that the defendant was negligent, that negligence led to damages, injury, and death.
All they can legally ask for is money, but Johnson's team would describe their end goal a little differently.
The short version to a long story is justice for Brian's family and for each of the victims.
Now, I did reach out to the attorneys for Mr. Patel and Mr. Modlin. The attorney for Mr. Patel did respond saying that they don't comment on ongoing investigations, and I'm still waiting to hear back from Mr. Modlin's attorney. Now, they are still in the process of gathering these depositions, but the victim's attorney you heard from, Ben Johnson, believes that the judge will set a jury trial in either late fall or early winter. So, of course, stay with ABC 57 News as we continue to follow this case. I'm live tonight in Niles. Jess Arnold, ABC 57 News.